To the Manifesting Millions podcast. I am your host, Rashida McFerrin, and today in the Rich Auntie Life series, we are continuing talking about traveling globally and setting up your international life. I just wanted to dive into a few things today. There are a couple of points that I want to touch on, but before we do that, I want you to head over to Rashida.ai, grab your millionaire freebie guide, and then come back over here and spend some time with us so we can talk about how we traveling in these international streets. As I have mentioned previously, this travel journey that I have coming up in the next year to 2 years has been on my goal list since my son was like really small. 19 years to be honest. I have literally a list of 94 countries that I am interested in visiting. Now, I know I'm not going to be able to visit the 94 in a year, but my goal is to travel to as many countries as I possibly can. I'm going to be honest in regards to some of the countries that were originally high on the list are no longer high on the list anymore because everybody's going there. It's such a turnoff. I have always been a person that has really marched to the beat of my own drum. If everybody and their mama is in Thailand, Bali, Malaysia, and the Philippines, yeah, we're just going to avoid that altogether. But after getting on Xiao Hong Shu earlier this year, I am interested in going to visit China. I'm interested in going to visit Japan, Tokyo. Wouldn't mind going to Taiwan either. I have a sorority sister that's been living in Japan for a number of years. She teaches English. Naturally, that's easily like higher on the list because I already have an established contact there. And Australia was another one that's been high on my list. And then I have somebody from college who was living in Queensland, but she has since moved back to the US and reestablished herself in Georgia. Nonetheless, it's still on my list. And my boy lives in London. I've been telling him since he moved there, it's been like 15 years, that we were going to come visit him. And at first it was like, I got to wait for my son to get older. And I think the last time he saw my son, he was like 2 years old. So now he's like a grown man and almost eye level looking him in the eye because Lincoln's almost like 6 feet too. That would be actually a nice little trip. That would be like a nice little 5 day trip. We could fly from Dallas to New York and then from New York straight into London. I think the flight time from New York to London can be done. I've heard that it's been done in like 5 hours. Not to say that that will be our flight, which would be lovely, but the normal flight time is usually like anywhere from 8 to 10 hours. And that's not that bad. And then from London, I know we can go over to Rome to visit Italy. That's an easy little trip. And then you're centrally located in Europe when you're in London. And so there are a lot of little places that you can like venture out to. Not sure how much time we'll have to do that. And then normally my friend's family takes a trip, usually sometime in June or July, like to come visit him. So I need to check with him actually. So we got to figure out where we going this summer. And then I got to figure out like the most important places for me to go in regards to where I'm going to end up. I Dubai is considered a strict area because of the Muslim culture, but as far as business is concerned, I have really been looking into Dubai the past 2 years because I've just seen some amazing things from some business owners that I've made contact with that puts you in a different position economically as far as having access to more resources. And I love the fact that Dubai is a hub, it's an international hub. You never know who you're going to meet. That is a huge opportunity for networking. And I'm sitting up here I'm always in like currency converters because I trade foreign currency like pretty regularly. I'm always on the currency converter throwing the USD into the converter to see. I did $1 million. That's so funny. And $1 million over there is $3 million. $9 million here is $35 million there. You kind of get to a point in your economic journey that you're trying to figure out how to make your money work the longest for you and your family. And my question is like, as an American, why would I continue to tax myself into oblivion if I can go to another country and pay no taxes? Because, Dubai has zero tax on businesses and foreign income. And I know we're still responsible for our taxes here, even when we're not here. I get that part. If I have the opportunity to elevate my income, I'm going to go elevate my income. We'll always have residents in the US. That's not an issue. As I approach this phase in my life, I just hit 19 years being in finance on April 6th. I cannot believe that I've almost been in something 20 years. As far as being in real estate, as of last year, I've been in real estate 20 years already. It blows my mind, but as I'm approaching this part of my journey, I am just really focused on making my dollars last longer and making them stronger and being in a place where I can live a luxurious life, meaning the lifestyle. For me, the luxurious life is the lifestyle that I desire, that I am comfortable with. And because I'm so, in HBCU terms, bougie, I know how much I cost. It's expensive to be me. And not to say that I have like expensive habits as far as like wasting money on frivolous things. Yeah, no. My expensive habits are in real estate, in tangible properties, investments. Like those are my expensive habits. I am going to live somewhere nice and then I'm going to invest in properties that make me money, that make my bank account look nicer. Hello. I'm trying to figure out where we're going to land. I have so much research on the islands, of course, Caribbean islands, of course. Then there's this program that they just opened in Mauritius, which is off the coast of, I think, East Africa. I think it's East Africa because it's outside of South Africa and then on the other side of Madagascar. Child, I would have to go look at a globe, but I really am looking to like live a life of love and luxury as I approach retirement, as I approach getting older, like as I approach joining with a life partner. Like I want the beauty of love and luxury to be tattooed in every detail of my life. And I want to live that expression openly. I want to live it divinely, and I want to live it from the core of my authentic being. And that is where I am in this game right now. This game of life. When I say game, I'm always referring to the game of life. But I feel like the last 20 years of my life have been about I serve, being a problem solver, being a risk manager in finance. I have made it literally my mission in the community that I work in to serve my consumers and my clients, especially like the broader consumer market, as I've specialized in certain areas over the years. And I am proud of that. Like I have served from a level that is unmatched. I have touched billions of dollars. I do not shy away from my accomplishments. I have managed billions of dollars. I have approved billions of dollars. I am proud of the reputation I have built as a financial professional over the last 19 years. There is no question about that. But as I approach this next phase of my life, I'm 44, I will be 45. And I kid y'all not, I just feel like the last 5 years have been a blur. I literally bought my dream house. I was 39. I turned 40 like a month later. And it's like, I don't know, I feel like I blinked and my son was a grown man. We went through a global pandemic that lasted 2.5, almost 3 years. Like, so much has happened in this 5 year time frame, but for some reason, I feel like I'm going around in a revolving door. You know how you wake up some days feeling like every day is the same, but there's a slight difference to it? They always say that we experience multiple portals throughout the day. Every time we walk in a door or open a window or get in our car, drive our car out, go somewhere different, we enter different phases of ourselves. And the other thing is like this is what's been funny. So this is completely off topic. So I've always been a queen of manifestation since I was young. And before I ever knew what manifestation was, I was manifesting stuff, right? If I wanted it, I created it somehow. And I later found out that it was tied to this concept called manifestation because when I was in high school, people used to ask me all the time, Rashida, how do you just create what you want? It seems you just magnetize and draw it to you. And I used to be like, I don't know. I decide what I want. I get clear about it. I put my intent into the world and it happens. I create. That's what I do. But if you think about it, we were all sent here to create. Now, what you create is up to you. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, it's so funny how we're on social media and everybody's all of a sudden talking about quantum physics and quantum mechanics and all that bullshit. And you sitting up there like, number one, I'm a smart cookie. And you couldn't pay me in high school nor in college to barely get through the chemistry class. More or less talk about physics. I remember physics being on my schedule my junior year. I sat in that class for one day and I went to my advisor. I was like, I don't know what this is, but take me out. This has nothing to do with my life and I'm not doing this. So it's so funny how everybody is all of a sudden a quantum physicist now because it's tied to manifestation. I remember, and this is another thing, this is funny. My boyfriend from college, which is my really good friend, we've known each other for 25 years. So he was a mechanical engineering major. And when he used to start talking physics and stuff to me, I used to be like, oh, okay. And he used to show me little experiments and stuff that they'd be doing in the engineering lab. And I'd be looking at him like, that's so freaking nerdy, but you're smart. So yeah, I'd be like, like a girlfriend would do at the time, act like I was interested, but sit there 5 minutes later, what the fuck is he talking about? It's just so funny to me how everybody is all of a sudden talking about they were just so tuned in to quantum physics in high school, in college. Stop it. You weren't. You weren't. Lies you tell. Anyway, in regards to creating and manifesting, you have to figure out what you want. And so that's what I was talking about. Talking about the fact that I've created this list and how I'm going about traveling the world and where we're going to end up. I said all that to say that in this phase of my life, I am looking for people, places, and things that grow my money. And you should be too. There is literally no reason for you to put yourself in a box that allows you to only make a certain amount of money when we live in the digital age of economy. Not to say that it's easy because it's levels to it, but once you figure out a process, a product that leads to results, which means money, revenue that works for you, there is no limit to the things that you can do in regards to building your businesses. Now, living in the age of social media, everybody is like a self proclaimed manifestation guru. And look, the reason my brand is manifesting millions is because I know how to manifest millions. I specifically know what assets to invest in order to turn money into more money so that you can eventually get to the 7-figure mark. I do it in my sleep. It is a natural gift. Some people are just gifted at money. I've always been gifted with money. And I feel my job for the rest of my life is to teach people how to tap into that power for themselves. Because the irony is that you think that there is nothing special about you and the way you do your money, but there is something special about the way you do your money. Your money that you create is uniquely tied to you, the energy in which you create it in, the power in which you pull it into your life and manage it and make it grow. It's based on you. You think you're not good with money because society has told everybody from the time they were little that they weren't good with money. Like society program, and when I say society, I am talking about digital technology, social media, going to school, whoever was in your ear at whatever time. I don't come from a rich background, but I come from land wealth. There's a difference. We may not have been rich financially, meaning money terms, but my family had wealth in land. That's our signature. When I invest in real estate, it's easy for me to invest in real estate and to find a property, create a development because I am naturally gifted, literally in my DNA, passed down from generations in land. Wealth, land through the ages has always been tied to wealth. And my family in the 1800s, my ancestors, they some OGs. So when I sit, I'm getting ready to start decorating for my son's prom. They're doing the send off at our home. And I can't wait to put our ancestors in the background as a compliment to their send off because they get to have the party and enjoy the party with us because this is years of sacrifice for these moments like this that they didn't get to enjoy, but they get to be honored and paid homage to just by being in the room in a picture. That's powerful to me. My point is, there is something in your background that uniquely ties you to your money blueprint that you have to unlock for yourself in order for you to figure out how to make money. Everybody has it. It gets to be easy. It really does. Money doesn't have to be hard. It gets to be easy. It gets to flow. Am I saying you're not going to ever have to work for money a day in your life again? No. I'm saying that by you working for money, you can take that money and learn to do something other than just paying bills and going out. You can learn how to steward your money. At this phase in our lives, I'm looking forward to the international Rashida because I have met only significant pieces of her here and there. It's like you meet a piece of yourself every time you travel, just like I was talking about the portals, going through the door portals. Every time you travel to a different location, you wake up a new part of your identity. And you know how some places you can go and you just feel good in, then some places you go that you just feel bad and you like immediately feel like you don't want to be there. I'm looking forward to going to all the places that light up my chi and take me to a next level version of Rashida. Meaning, I get to meet a part of myself that I would not have known had I not gone to that place because it opens and exposes me to different people, different places, different experiences, different things. I'm excited. And so it is. That's it. Of course, I can't leave here without giving you some tips. Like, that's against my DNA. Are there things that I'm doing to prepare? Yes. Number one, I'm preparing financially for me and my son when he wants to join me. So you need money. We're not doing the American beggar backpacker thing. Again, I'm going to repeat that. We're not doing that. I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. And if you are an American and this episode comes across you and you are begging and backpacking your way across the world, you ought to be ashamed of yourself to get there in the world like that and then not have the resources to be able to sustain your trips. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You're going to end up like that girl from, where was she from? Louisiana? She was all the way in Thailand somewhere. Or she said she went to Japan and then ended up in Thailand and her money was running out and she rented a place for a year and she then didn't have a place, she didn't have a way to sustain herself and so she ended up back where? In Louisiana, child. Because she ran out of money. That's what I'm talking about. Don't be out there like that doing that. Don't be doing it. That's irresponsible. And I get it, everybody has the travel bug now. I know that. But just have the travel bug and be prepared and have some money in your pocket so you can sustain yourself to wherever you go until you can get back to your hometown or wherever you live. That's all I'm saying. Be responsible. Yeah, be a responsible global citizen. Number two, you plan for your trip. I know sometimes it's good to leave flexibility for your plans, but you have to at least have a basic plan in place. And number three, sometimes it helps if you're visiting a foreign place that you have people in, meaning that you know someone who's already there. It's easier to navigate the city. That's it. That was quick. See, I knew I had some tips for y'all. As I mentioned earlier, head over to Rashida.ai and grab your Manifesting Millions freebie so you can get started on your millionaire journey. And then, if you like what you've heard today, please share it with a friend, give us a 5-star review, and come back and listen to us next week because that helps our listenership grow. Until when, I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.